Today, I'm going to walk you through all the important things you should take into consideration when working with your files on your cloud so that you would save yourself some time and headache for your future self when you're going to plan to have an internal chatbot for your own company. And you may probably have a question, well, Andy, what's the point? Why can't I just store the files like I do now? And you definitely can, don't get me wrong. And AI probably will be able to answer these questions, but the quality of the answers depends on the quality of data and the structure you have for your documents. So believe me, these will be just 5 important things you have to take into consideration, which will make your AI's answers perfect. And this is something we usually give to others when we build the internal chatbot, and we're going to walk through all of these 5 steps together today now. Alright, I've already opened the PDF, which we are going to go through this together. By the way, you will be able to download this in the link down below in the description. And then also this manual is specifically for SharePoint and OneDrive, so for Microsoft ecosystem. As also the internal chatbot we build is based on Azure. But of course, if you use something like Google Drive or some other clouds out there, mainly all the things I'm going to go through will also be possible on your cloud. So don't worry. And then I also have opened the SharePoint myself, just so I could also show it to you live. So I guess let's move on to the first points. I have two important things mentioned first, which was already what I mentioned, that the quality depends on your data structure. So if your files are going to be by these rules, then you don't have to worry about the quality of the answers of AI. And the first topic is videos, as our custom internal chatbot we build can actually find you info from the videos. And for videos, the most important thing is that when you're uploading a video, you have to basically assess the video if it has enough information. And the information can be in few ways, mainly 2, which is by subtitles or either voiceover or both. So it's 3, I lied to you. And now, for example, let me show you. I have few videos here. One, it's actually a company meeting, and it's 24 minutes long. And if we click and we hear a little bit,
ready? I have the reasons why.
We can see they're talking. The sound is there, which is great. So this means that AI can pull out this info from this video, which means you'll be able to ask questions about this meeting. So now if you're uploading such video, then you don't have to do anything. You just put it in your cloud, you put it in your folder, you organize it. Then, for example, if video doesn't have sound, don't worry, because it may have subtitles. And for example, I have this video here, which is some kind of international NASA space station. And here in this video, you can see when I click the video, it doesn't have sound, but what it does have is the subtitles, which you can see here. And now if the video has these ones and they're also descriptive enough, then again, you don't have to worry. You just put that video on your cloud and you don't have to do anything extra, because AI is going to be able to pull out this info from these subtitles and you're going to be able to ask the questions. But now, for example, if a video doesn't have subtitles or doesn't have voiceover, so it's completely without sound, doesn't have anything, and for example, let me take this video. This video has voiceover, but let's imagine it doesn't have anything. Then what you would need to do is here in the SharePoint video player, you can actually add description to the video. And now this is what you would do. This is the extra job what you have to do. Add description about what is the video. And you add it just enough so you'd be able to ask questions. And you probably know this best. And you basically just go ahead and you describe the video. For example, this video is about electric troubleshooting and all that stuff. And you mention maybe what he did, what he changed, XYZ. All the stuff you would probably ask for in the future. And then when you're done, you click on save. And now this description is saved. And now AI will pull out this description, because he's going to pull out the video. He's going to see, oh, there's no sound. There's actually no text also in the video. Okay, so let me pull out description, right? So he pulls out description and now you can ask questions. Now, but actually when you do add descriptions, there's one thing, because for example, our solution, what we built for others, it specifically does, it points you to specific video second. So it not only gives answer, just plain answer, right? It also gives the specific video second from where the info is found, and actually gives like a link where you can click on and the video would start from that second. And to actually show it to you quickly, just so you understand, then it will come back with answer, and it will come back with this timestamp link from where it would start the video. And if you click,
like I said, super simple here.
It starts the video from that minute. So it's just easier for you to navigate. But if the video would only have this description, it wouldn't be able to do that. So mainly, if you can, then try to keep this video with subtitles or either voiceover. And if you have old videos, and what you can do is download these videos and talk over it and then put it in the cloud. and that's all you have to do. But of course, if you don't want to do that, then you can just write description about what is the video. Oh yeah, and also if the videos are like presentation style type, for example, this one, you can see it's like presentation, and then there's the 7 points mentioned, then actually this is also pretty good, and AI will pull out this info and you'll be able to ask questions about this. Either way, I have also mentioned good examples in this manual, but are good examples and some correct ways, so you don't have to worry about this. The next thing about videos is their renaming, and specifically for these Microsoft clouds, the video is in this example SharePoint. When you would want to rename the video, then you'd want to do it in this main SharePoint cloud. When you click here, you find rename, and then you put the name you want to put, right? But now the thing you wouldn't want to do is when you have the video opened here in this video platform the Microsoft has. And if you would rename the video here, for example, let's put renamed like this and then save, then this renamed video name wouldn't show up in this main SharePoint, which may lead to some mistakes if you're asking for some specific file. We can see here, if we go into file, we just renamed this file, right? But the name doesn't show up here in this main Microsoft cloud. So that's also an important thing you have to take into consideration if you want to rename specifically videos. This is only for videos. And also here I've shown the correct way and wrong way of renaming the videos. Then also the third thing about videos is that you have to keep only MP4s, because if you're gonna have these older type of videos, like for example MOV, AVI, or whatever out there are there, then actually sometimes it's seen that when the AI gives the answers and it gives with these timestamps, right, for some reason with these older videos it's just like blank and doesn't support that. So it's good that you keep only MP4s of videos and you don't want to have these AVIs or whatever. And then if you actually do have these videos in the older formats, then you can use one of the online formattings, convert them, and then put them in your cloud. And those are actually all things you need to know about videos. The next thing is images. And for images, how we usually do it, or how we make images searchable by AI, is by the file names. And that's the easiest way. The other way is that you let AI describe what is an image, right? And by that, you can search the files. But I mean, in what reality AI could describe it precisely as you would need? So what we suggest is that you just rename the image on what is actually inside the image, or to be more precise, on how you would want to find that image when you would be searching for it. So for example, you may have some kind of login screen for your software. So then you would describe this image like that. You would say software interface bug report login screen error, right? And you describe these keywords, and we actually say here that you should ask yourself with what words would you use to search these photos later. And when you actually describe these photos, you can use spaces. For example, okay, in my cloud I have dashes, so you can either way use dashes. Probably all programmers are going to be mad at me because that's probably not the correct way on how to name the files. In this manual, we actually say that there should be no dashes or other punctuation. So just stick to spaces, just like a regular sentence. And also, if there are some acronyms you're using in your company, then it's good also to mention both of them, because sometimes people may search only by the short acronym. Maybe sometimes people would search with the longer name. And just to make it safe, include both of them. For example, in this case, CRM view, which would be a pretty weak search. Although when we build AI, we actually usually ask for the acronyms your company uses. So we put also full names for AI on what acronym means. And so when AI searches the info, it actually searches with both the acronym and the full name. But just to be safe, you should better just use both the full name and the acronym. And then of course, as the last thing when you're saving the photo, you should just ask yourself, could I find this photo by searching for these words? If the answer is yes, then you're probably doing it right. Then this leads us to the next category, which is documents. And these are regular documents, PDFs, Excels, all that stuff. And the first one is actually document file naming, which I think is probably an obvious one, which we usually teachers teach us at the school, right? But you shouldn't use accented characters or some special characters in the file names. Just use the regular letters, capitals or the small ones, digits, underscore, dashes, and that's it. Maybe sometimes equal sign, right? But those are the only things you want to do. And then here I also have the good file name structure and also the file name structures, which would need some changes. And just to show you some examples, here you can see in this PDF, there's actually at the end 2 PDFs mentioned, which, I mean, this is only for processing these documents when the documents get processed for AI. So this may cause some errors. This specifically probably wouldn't cause any errors, but still we can actually see there's also the special character like this one, so you would need to change the just small one, take off the PDF and leave it like this, then update, and that's how you would go with this. And these are of course not critical ones. It's not like it's going to destroy the AI and it's going to just throw a lot of 404 errors. Then another thing is that if you have zip files, if you want these files to be searchable, then it's good that you actually unzip this folder and you put it in the SharePoint, because when the data is going to get processed, it's going to go through these folders like this, Excels like I have here, but when it's going to see the zip, it's not going to actually be able to open that folder. These specific files inside that zip aren't going to be able to be processed. So it's generally good to actually unzip the folder and put it like this. I don't know if you can do it actually in the cloud. No, seems like you can't. So, but on your computer, I probably don't have to teach you how to do that. You can actually do it. Then about Word documents. Now, it's interesting because when actually the internal chatbot gives you answers about some kind of PDFs or presentations, it gives you the answers to specific PDF pages. So, and just to actually quickly show you that, I've asked a question here, and this is actually from PDF. And with PDFs, it's similar to videos, right? Where it throws to specific PDF page in this situation. Now, if that would be a Word document, it wouldn't be able to do that. It would just throw you to the first page. I don't know, that's some kind of Microsoft limitation where you can't actually point to specific Word document page. So if you do have Word documents inside, and you want that feature where it actually throws you to a specific page, because I mean, if you have like 60-page Word document, then it's good that you don't have to find that page yourself, but AI just throws you there. So then you would need to go to some kind of converter, which I've actually put a link here in the document, which is a pretty good one and free one, and you can easily convert your Word files to PDFs. And by the way, no, this is not affiliates, but that is that about Docx. Of course, this is a limitation because you're gonna need to edit that Word document every time. Then you're gonna need to save it and put the PDF version every single time. So that's a bit of a bug. It is what it is. The next thing is scanned documents. And a lot of times people think that AI is not able to answer the questions about scanned documents. You actually don't have to worry about that one, because AI is able to give you answers about scanned documents, just as it was able to pull out info from videos, right, from the subtitles like I showed you. It's actually able to do just the same about these scanned documents. And it's going to give you actually this link to the specific PDF page, which is pretty cool and pretty nice. And okay, seems like I didn't index the scanned documents for AI, but you can also check out that in the previous videos where I've did something like this. But so scanned documents, you don't have to worry about those ones. Except there is one except, which is actually the next point, and that's TOC headers. And now, if that's some kind of step-by-step document, in regular PDFs, it's good that you have these TOC headers. Just like I had here also in my manual, right? Here, these are TOC, table of contents. And you have it numbered like this, and you have the main topic, and you have the subtopics. And as it helps also for a human to navigate info, it also helps AI. Yes, it's surprising. So it's important that if it's some kind of manual about some machine or something other stuff, then you have to have these TOC headers. And actually, you have to place it at the first 10 pages. You don't place it at the bottom of your PDF, which, I mean, probably is logical. But, you know, it's just good to mention that. And then of course it's good to also have these numberings for PDF pages, obviously. And to also show you that on how it looks like, I had this one example document about some industrial machine. And here you can see also, well here it's called index. You can call it how you want, that doesn't matter. But it's good that you see also here it's in the third page and it goes like this. And then if I zoom in actually, then we can see there are the main topics, there are the subtopics. Here you can actually see it's like description of main parts, and then the main parts are actually listed. And why this is important is that when AI gives the answers, actually before AI gives the answers, when the data gets processed in chunks, just so it's more effective afterwards when giving answers. And as it's processed in chunks, when giving an answer, for example, in this case, if you would ask for AI, describe me the main parts, it may describe the first ones, right? But it may mistake or not mention some few other parts, because when he's looking at the information chunks, it couldn't make sense that, oh, those are for the main parts. But when you do have these TOC headers and you do have these subtopics, then when we're processing the data, we actually assign each chunk to that specific topic. So in the case when you would ask, describe me the main parts, AI would actually have all of these subtopics which is in there, and that would just lead to more complete answers. And I hope this actually made sense, and I hope you understood how important it is to have correct structure for your documents. And yes, as we previously talked about scanned documents, right? If there's some kind of scanned manual or something like that, and the manual doesn't have this TOC header, then yeah, it's probably you have to somehow retrieve it, have it in PDF, which I mean tools are probably out there. Yeah, I mean the same I Love PDF also has something like this where it transfers the scanned PDF to Word document. But remember that the TOC header is the most important thing in some kind of manuals or step-by-step documents. That is a must have. And then the last one actually leads us to the technical drawings, as the internal chatbot is actually able to also give answers about such technical drawings. For example, if you would ask something like, let me actually try this one. Yeah, okay. I didn't also index technical drawing for some reason. But anyway, if you have technical drawings in your cloud, and let me show you where I have these ones, then the only thing about these ones is that you should have them in PDFs. You don't want them to be in images, because if you remember, then images we process by their names. And if you had, for example, such technical drawing and you would put it as an image, it would process only the name of this figure or technical drawing or whatever the part is. And again, you guessed it, there's the I Love PDF, which makes it possible for you to quickly convert your images to PDFs. And then when you have that, just put them in your cloud, and AI will be able to answer your questions about the technical drawing. For example, like what is the tap depth for liquid mixer? In my example, I didn't index the technical drawing. I think so it didn't give me the answer. But you can check out how it works in my previous video, which was specifically for this technical drawing thing. It's, I think, awesome and saves also a lot of time when working with such files. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last step, the fifth one. Like I said, 5 important things you have to take into consideration, and these were not that crazy ones, but that's all. And the next cool thing which you can actually do when you have such manual, you can actually put that manual in your cloud, and when you do have internal chatbot is going to process that manual. And yeah, once the chatbot has processed that document, you can ask basically the chatbot, and you don't have to remember these things on, for example, how to save the images or what can I use when naming PDFs and all that stuff. Then, like I said, you can find this PDF in the description below. There's going to be a link. Just go there and you can have it. Then, if after watching this video you actually say that, but Andys, we already do these things and we already have a good structure for our files on the cloud, then well, don't hesitate, and we can cooperate and help you build a internal chatbot for your own company, and you can start saving time for yourself. And I think that's it. If you thought this was useful, even if not, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.